Short story by Paul McCann, The Fairies Who Brought Fun. Huggy lived by the door of the forest in a hollow log and was happy there in her role as keeper of the green pathways and sprinkler of light among the wildflowers. Huggy was well ranked with the fairy folk by Mother Nature, who at this point in time was miserable and defensive in slurs of speech as she asked the favour of the earth and sky for more liberation of fun and the removal of the poison gases at the forest door. Huggy was given a mission that began with a step in the right direction. Footloose and fancy-free, she took to the sunrise optimistically. The courageous fairy took flight and landed upon a soft, spongy cloud where she thought about the planet Earth, and her mother Nature had asked her to meet Dribbles, the sky fairy, for some help to clean up the forest and collect some red rocks for plugging up the holes near the door of the forest where gas had already begun poisoning life around the green pathways. A big job for a little fairy, but Huggy had guts. With confident fairy footsteps, she stepped over the clouds to her skywalk meeting with Dribbles, the airy cloud fairy, who was already there sitting on her cloud waiting for the forest fairy. She glanced at Huggy and said with an essence of intrigue,
It's a forest fairy on my cloud. So, is this an omen or an illusion? Maybe it's that oxymoronic vapor trail from the jet that just passed by that has me seeing shades of fantasy. What could the purpose of this visit be?
Huggy was lost for words.
Yes, that's right. I'm your friendly forest neighbor, come bearing brown autumn leaves to brighten your day.
Dribbles started reshaping the cloud and answered,
Nice try, but you forget it is spring and the trimmings of leaves are greener than lunar fromage in the still of Jupiter's atmosphere in any given day.
Dribbles started reshaping again the cloud, and Huggy took 3 steps closer and blew some brown leaves from the palm of her hand and said,
Things might look clearly obscure, Dribbles, but I am on a mission from Mother Nature to bring back some red rocks en route to the 4th dimension, to plug some holes between the sulfur fields and the forest door. You're still on my cloud, and it's me you're talking to. I'm not one of those pixies who live amongst the purple-petaled sunflowers,
Dribbles said as she threw some soft mist from her fist that kissed Huggy's cheek. Huggy seemed a little embarrassed and asked,
Have you ever seen the morning sun dance merrily on the ceiling of the sky?
Then she began to dance, and her sweeping moves shook all the way from her solar plexus to the tips of her furry wings that fluttered frantically, sending flashes of light around the clouds above. Dribbles sniggered.
Oh, well,
applauding the dance of the forest fairy.
I guess your unexpected visit means you need a mothership for your mission into the 4th dimension. Well, Dribbles, you have gone crazy, but I thought you would never ask.
The mothership surfaced from underneath the cloud, and Huggy stepped inside. As soon as she did, she was propelled into the invisible curtain beyond the window of time. Shortly afterwards, upon a solar moon, Huggy was stranded on the surface of the strange planet, where sulphur pods spat out hot rocks that lay there, motionless, with fumes of smoke spurting out from them, and Huggy breathing in some of the gas. And she started to talk aloud.
Oh, wow! All those weed walks round me, better get them into my pockets before the door closes, and that would see me worse for the wear, with the worst kind of whoosh bursting through the hectic, skeptic screams of sulphuric smoke and smell ever since time began.
She seemed to be affected with an allergy or a reaction from the sulphuric smoke and began to do delusional dancing. Just at that moment, Dribbles the Cloud Fairy arrived in an interdimensional rocket ship and landed beside the mother ship. Getting off the ship, she approached Huggy with a sway and a snigger.
"Stay still while I zap you." "It's zap time, Huggy."
She got zapped and in a second went zoom high into the sky, where she started to whiz again like a forest fairy, dancing in flight within a translucent kind of light all around her. And when she returned back to the ground, she still showed a slight disfigurement of speech.
"Oh, thanks, Dribbles. Help me please to put some of those red rocks into my furry pockets and get back inside the mothership."
Dribbles assisted Huggy to put the red rocks into her pockets. Both fairies were now back inside their interdimensional spacecrafts, and with the sound that they always make when they're doing time traveling, they were whisked away through time and space back to the cloud where Dribbles lived. When the purple smoke wafted, both sat on the cloud and the fourth dimension was gone. It was as if it never happened, but some of the purple smoke lingered. The lingering became loitering. The purple plume clung to the cloud like a suggestion of a beautiful smoky cloud picture that began to take shape right before their very eyes. It turned deeper purple shades. Huggy went over and stood by her side, and suddenly they were sucked into a plug hole, or was it a water slide, landing them both in a field of purple petal sunflowers where pixies stood near the forest door, and sulphuric smoke shot out from the holes in the ground. An emerald pool lay still there in this fresh landscape, and echoes of singing fish leaping in and out of the water broke the silence as Dribbles slapped Huggy on the back and said,
"Well, come on quick. Plug those holes before it's too late. Hurry, Huggy."
Half blinded by the sulphuric smoke, Huggy took some of the red rocks from her pockets and plugged all of the holes in the ground. Suddenly, to everyone's joy, blooms appeared where among the red rocks used to sit and dazzled everyone with their wild and vivid colours, and the pixies started to dance with delirium. White doves descended head first into the emerald pond and made oblong ripples that shimmered across to the other side, where a small wooden boat floated towards Huggy and Dribbles, who got in and grabbed the oars and rowed. Within a few moments, they came to some water lilies that went whoosh as a wild wind whisked the boat from the pond and whisked them up into the air and set them down on a mountain top with a few planks of clarity missing. Mother Nature appeared, unannounced as she always does, and said,
"Oh, well done, fairies of earth and sky. You returned the balance between dimensions, and now we can all have fun again."
A funny jocular bird flying around overhead came down singing, "Me no me mo, you no me no, and who knows if El Niño's coming back again." Almost in a palindrome with a quivering pendulous moan. No sooner had the jocular bird sang his song when the quivering pendulous moan suddenly erupted in a flutter of 10,000 butterflies, all coloured blue and sporting light sabres that glowed in the fading light of the day. Their gossamers of dusk began to appear in patches of sunlight where silk spatters sung their songs and spun their dream webs to catch those butterflies and sprinkles of sporting light. What a delightful show it was, with sprinkles of pretty twilight creatures captured all in a row, with Mother Nature laughing in a hearty guffaw. Twilight, as it always does, sprinkled half light across the sky as beams from the moon started to arrive on top of the mountain. Mother Nature started to dance upon the ground that crumbled and opened up glowing fissures under her hovering feet. Then suddenly she stopped dead in her tracks. With all that was happening around, and the sparkles, the moonbeams, and the fissures at her feet, she said in a deep maternal tone,
"Oh, it's really happened. Thanks to you, Dribbles and Huggy. Now we can all have much fun again." "Oh, goody fun drops,"
said Dribbles, who began to float back up in the sky in a purple haze on a moonbeam.
"Oh, yes, indeed. What a fun bursting time,"
said Huggy, glancing up at the sky. Then realization dawned as the sky train arrived, and Huggy got on board. The train started to roll back down the mountain paths, and in a short matter of time the train pulled into the forest grounds. After exiting the sky train and taking the road toward the forest door, she was confronted by a couple of green pathway agents who were sweeping and mopping the paths. They demanded to see Huggy's ID.
"Oh, no. Where have I left my fairy discard?"
Wendy the Wicked Witch descended on her broom and haggled and gaggled as she began to cast her spell over Huggy. Mother Nature arrived in a fury so vivid that it made the Wicked Witch's skin crawl. The light of the forest came upon her, and she passed away, handing back Huggy's furry disc ID card that she had stolen long before the journey had begun. In a blinding light, the witch had been turned into a pool of nausea that was mopped up by the green pathway agents. Mother Nature spun and sung a song of thankfulness and joy.
"Oh, how lovely and sweet on the mountain tops is the light of things to come, and the fun we will have on every path, in the forest to the clouds in the sky. Fun, fun, fun for everyone."
Then she stopped singing and blew a kiss at Huggy.
"I just want to thank you again for everything you have done," she said,
defensively trying to stop herself from tears. Even the stars in the sky twinkled and danced in a newfound liberation of wonder. The end.